You're welcome to Card Baron. So this is what we'll be doing today. A simple bolt, as you can see. So this is what we'll be doing today. So how do we do this? We go to File, click on New, Parts. Okay. Today we'll be using the thread feature. So go to Front Plane, click on Sketch. I'll use the polygon. I'll come here, I'll click. I'll do some, maybe in case you don't have it straight like this, click. Then you click on this, then you click here, or make it horizontal. Then you come here to your cycle, you click here to get this. Then use your smart dimension, you click on this, you make your diameter 10. Then you come here, you dimension this, make it 6. So after doing that, you move over to Features, Extrude Boss. So this is what you should have, but we'll keep it on the condition, you keep it on mid plane. Then I'll make the extrude 5. Then we'll move to selected contours. Then you click here, the inside, and also click here. So you have it like this. So you have something like this now. So if we have been able to get this, then the next thing, I click here, I click on Sketch. Then I come here, I click this, I expand cycle, go to smart dimension, I dimension it 6. Check. Then I move to this point, Features, I click on Extrude Boss. Extrude Boss. I make the length 30. The condition I used before was mid plane. Now we use a blind. I have something like this. So this is what I have for now. I've been able to get the first frame. Then the next thing I do, I click here, I click here, I click here, I click on Sketch. So I use my cycle again, I click from the origin, I expand, click a dimension. I dimension it to be 10. Then I'll have something like this. So if I've been able to achieve this, I go to Features, then move to Extrude Cut. Then I click on Flip Side Cut. Then I move my angle, I make my angle 45 degrees so I can be able to get this. And I check, I'm trying to do a chamfer. Then I've been able to do this part for the chamfer. I go to Front Plane and I click on Mirror. Selected mirror faces, I come here, I click on this region. So you can see the preview. Then I check. I've been able to get this. I can now come here, then click on Material. I would like to use this. So I've been able to get this particular material. Since I'll be using the thread feature, come here, I click on thread. Okay. Now the thread location starts from here. Since it starts from there, it moves to selection. You can say up to selection, up to this region. Click here, up to this region. So we are going to extrude thread, so it will be visible. Extrude thread. So we have something like this. As you can see, extrude thread 0. Then you check. So as you can see, I've been able to do my single bolt. Said I've been able to achieve this. So you can see that it's not hard. Please this is it. So I've been able to do this bolt. So please guys, try and practice, like and subscribe and also share. Thank you.